Hey everybody, Chris and Lyster-Bradley here again. 2 days in a row doing a video because I gotta get my shit together. I gotta get my shit all together so I can do what I gotta do. If you're anywhere around my age, then you probably remember a fun little nursery rhyme of some kind named the Gingerbread Man. Like, run, 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 and all that. Funny thing though, in 2005, there was actually a movie that came out called Gingerdeadman. Yeah, that cute little nursery rhyme that we all loved became a psychotic and detrimental piece of anus. It's just terrible. You know how terrible it is? I would rather watch the live action Dr. Seuss of Cat in the Hat than watch Gingerdeadman. Real talk right now. For real. I would rather watch that than Gingerdeadman. I actually have it right here on my computer screen because I actually had to replay it in my memory just so I could relive the utter torture I felt watching this piece of crap. It's an interesting fact to let you know that the person who voices and plays actually as Gingerdeadman is quite actually Gary Busey. Busey or Fairless did a review of this, so go watch him if he can even remember how to pronounce his freaking name. Okay, so I just want to say this. Every single person who died in this movie literally must have went, "Yippee! I died in this movie! Now I don't have to be in it for the rest of the time." This didn't cripple Gary Busey's career, but I will shit you not, any person who was in this movie probably was never in another picture again for a major movie role. They were not used for the same picture or any other pictures, I am assuring of you. It's an interesting thing to know that the way this movie actually started was actually in a diner. I'm not going to actually say the name because that's probably copyright. And Gary Busey is actually robbing a diner. Dude, were there no banks for you to rob? Were there no banks? Was there no old lady with $1 million in her purse? No, you choose to rob a diner and shoot a waitress in the head from 5-10 feet away. I'm sure that was necessary. It's another interesting thing to know that there was actually an old man in this movie who's starring in it who's actually stupid enough to walk up there with a switchblade and try to go straight for Gary Busey. Talk about bringing a knife to a gunfight. Seriously. Literally, the guy had to be like, when he got shot, it's like, oh, thank God, I'm not in this movie anymore. I can save my career before it's crippled. Nope, I doubt he was in anything else after that. I highly doubt it. And you guys can try and find some information for me if he was ever in anything else after this. Stupidly enough, his kid actually, one of his two kids, I must point out, actually tried to talk to Gary Busey and get him to put the gun down. Constantly telling him to Put the gun down. Put the gun down. Put the gun down. Dude, shut up. He's not going to put the gun down. Oh, wait. Surprisingly enough, he actually puts the gun down. Kid reaches for it thinking all's well and ends well. No. Gary Busey pulls out a switchblade and stabs the kid in the back. I've heard of being stabbed in the back, but that's ridiculous. Especially for Gary frickin' Busey. So, he ends up killing three people, basically. The last one is a girl who he says he wasn't going to kill, but eventually he shoots at her. Either at her or shot her, I don't know. But it's later, 3 years later, and she's walking around in her parents' bakery, minding her own business, doing whatever. Well, guess what? I guess she's not dead because police actually caught him. The police actually caught him. Supposedly they oh, get this. After they put him in the electric chair. Sorry, I'm very tired apparently. And I'm using all my energy for screaming and yelling at this freaking piece of shit! After he was put in the electric chair, he was then cremated and sent off to his mother. Why anyone would do that, I don't know. If it's like a law or something, maybe that's it. Oh my gosh. Oddly enough, someone knocks on the back door of the bakery and drops off a box that says Grandma's gingerbread seasoning. And you don't even see the face of the person who dropped it off. You know what happens? She looks out into the alley and she sees a dark robe just walking out the corner, all slow motion style. Oh, it's like, oh, well, you know what? This was dropped off here by a black-robed stranger, so a black-hooded stranger. So I'm gonna take it, and I'm just gonna take it inside. It can't be anything bad. I'm sure it's not like the person who killed my family. I know that was dark, but come on. Tell me no one else was thinking that. Tell me that. Interesting enough, it was apparently, according to Thales, the way they did the Gingerdeadman was actually not how it was originally supposed to be. They were originally going to use a CGI computer animated version, but it looked too much like the frickin' Pillsbury Doughboy. And I'm not even going to lie, that's actually what was said in the movie, but I'm going to get to that in a second. Frickin' one of the workers who I guess has a crush on her or something opens the box, pours the oh my gosh. No, he's opening two boxes. He dumps one box into the bucket that says gingerbread seasoning, and as he's opening the other one, he accidentally cuts open his hand, and dude, you just got cut. Of course it's gonna hurt, but do you have to be near food? Do you have to be where people are making magic? I tell you what, I do not want a chocolate chip or a gingerbread cookie that has blood in it. I really don't. I would not want that even if I was a vampire. So I guess after the blood has gotten into the seasoning, they're just putting it into the industrial sized mixer, and as you as you're watching it spin around, you can actually see kind of like a baby doll hand coming out, and I could swear he's actually flipping off the camera. Not even Gary Busey wants to be in this movie, and he's the main star. He's the main star, and he doesn't even want to be in this movie. That's how freaking bad it is. His agent must have fudged up. Big time. It's another thing to notice that actually in this movie, the main actress actually has a mother who is drunk at night with a shotgun in her hand, shooting at the sign of a competing bakery across the street with a nationwide chain. Okay. I don't know how we went from talking about a gingerbread man with the soul of a psychopath in it to a lady with a shotgun and Jack Daniels shooting at a competitor's sign in the middle of the freaking night. How does that help with the story at all? I don't know. Several hours later, a fucker in a cowboy hat comes along, blaming the main actress for what happened to the sign, and he's being an ass to both the main actress and the mother, and telling them how we should be acting like adults on all this. Hey, how about, you know what, we can act like adults when you get rid of the fake ass accent, okay? You can talk all like that however you want, but I ain't dealing with no fake ass accent. I'm not gonna deal with it. Blonde stereotype. Blonde bitchy stereotype is in the car. She apparently won Miss Pretty Face. Well, of course she won Miss Pretty Face, because Miss Congeniality or Miss Manners or Miss Brain Cells is gone already. Won by someone else already, so Miss Pretty Face is basically all she freaking has. She's rude, she's slimy, she's ignorant, and she's a complete and total ass. I realize that's about the same thing as being rude, but I'm just saying, she's a total ass. Especially when she brings a rat into the main actress's freaking bakery to try and get him shut down. So get this. The blonde and the main actress start fighting, and somehow, through some Frankenstein science and magic, they somehow brought the cookie that was baking in the giant industrial oven to life. Fuck you, science! Fuck physics! Fuck nature! And fuck the creation of life is what this movie has said. So did Chucky. But at least I liked that movie. At least I liked it. Oh my gosh. This gingerbread man, this Gingerdeadman, looks so freaking ugly. And when a boyfriend comes out, the blonde's boyfriend comes into the bakery. He's all wondering what's going on, what's happening, and he doesn't even have that interesting of a character. He doesn't. He's just a dumbass. But you know what? He's still a better actor than the bitch. And so, Gingerdeadman pops up and probably says the funniest line that I could have ever heard, and was the only remotely good thing about this movie. One of them, I can't remember who, it doesn't even matter at this point, asks, "Is that a gingerbread man?" And then he's like, "Who you think it is, the Pillsbury fucking doughboy?" Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was actually funny. That is the only funny thing about the entire movie. And the rest of it just freaking boggles my mind. Okay, Gingerdeadman starts running off. He's got, like, apparently the body of a human, because he's a gingerbread man. And so, I freaking know, you damn writers and directors, you all suck! There could not be a worse. This thing says fuck physics and fuck reality. Because when they're trying to find it, they notice that the freezer door is open. This thing is probably about as tall as my arm from here to here, with barely any proportional strength at all, any muscle or tissues or any such, and it can actually open a freezer door. That probably weighs about 1,000 times more than him. What really gets me is that he's actually eating what's inside of the freezer. And out of nowhere, we just see a carton of milk flying right out of the door. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Do you understand? This guy can somehow open doors and somehow toss a carton of milk, a gallon of milk, right out of the freezer. Looking deep in the freezer, you know what we see? We see ketchup. Who the fudge puts ketchup on baked goods? I'm just pointing that out because I'm mad. I'm a little bit mad about it. I have a right to be mad because this movie sucks. And what gets me even worse, this thing somehow has the ability to not only open a freezer door and toss a gallon of milk out of it, he also somehow has the ability to hold a knife, cut off a finger, a human finger, with said knife, has the ability to set up elaborate traps, and has the uncanny ability to not only fire a revolver that could have easily recoiled and pushed him back, but he also has the ability to drive a car! I realize it's just a movie. I realize that. I'm not gonna lie, I love movies. I love horror movies. I love Jason, Freddy, Chucky, Michael. I love all those guys. But this movie is something I cannot accept. The very fact that this son of a freaking cookie can actually drive a car and fire a gun is the very foundation of why I despise it so freaking much. if you do not agree with me, that is fine. But I am making this review so you don't have to suffer through the bullshit I watched. Austin Parkinson will agree with me because he watched it with me. He's got a review coming up of this. He's got a review. And then he and I will do a call-up together. Yeah, we will. And I will tell you this. It will be the most angry, the most irritation-filled review that you will ever watch in your life. Not even gonna lie. Because this movie is terrible. It deserves to be thrown in a bottomless pit of hell and burned with... I'm probably overreacting, but this movie just is terrible. It's terrible. It's not even worth watching it on YouTube. Alright, I've wasted enough of your time. Austin and I will get into further details on how completely awful this movie was. And you can compare it to our separate reviews or whatever you want to do. But this movie was terrible. And I will be reviewing the other ones. Yes, they made more of them in the future. Good day, good night, and good fortune to you all. Goodbye.